we have this guy from IIT Delhi. Well, you all know IIT Delhi is one of those places that everyone wants to go to. And why not? It's one of the top 10 IITs in entire country. So today we have Athar. Athar, how about you introduce yourself to our audience?
What's up? What's up? It's Athar Deshmukh. It's me speaking from IIT Delhi. I'm a student of mechanical engineering and I'm a student in the first year. Right now, I'm at home because my home is in Delhi and I keep coming here frequently, like every alternate weekends. So yeah, I'm a student at IIT Delhi.
And there is this thing that when you live in Delhi and your college is also in Delhi, bro, we can just like go from like your hostel to your home like in what, like once a week, twice a week, every day? No?
Yeah, yeah. That's so real. Like every single friend of mine who lives in Delhi, almost everyone, they like keep going back to their homes. It's like quite frequent. I am the one who usually goes the least, and they are quite surprised. Like, why do I prefer staying at the hostels? So it's a topic to be discussed, why hostel life is fun. Maybe we'll discuss that further up in this podcast.
Sure, sure, that's cool, that's cool. So, guys, we have Athar with us today, and we're gonna talk about how the life is in IIT Delhi and how the curriculum is, how the courses are, what do people do generally like in their hostels, how like the food is in IIT Delhi, the messes and all, and how the labs are over there, how the professors are over there, and moreover like covering like the extracurriculars and like various things you do except studying, and how like the campus life is over there, just covering things like that in this podcast. So Athar, what did you do to get into IIT Delhi? That's a question that everyone wants to know.
I think everyone who wants to know this question is probably not planning to go to IIT because it's pretty famous, like it's pretty common for everyone to know how you get into IIT, at least in India. You have to give a series of exams. It's nowadays it's known as JEE. It has two different levels. So basically, you have to clear those exams. You have to get a good rank. Basically, you are competing with all other students from India. They are from South India. They're from the North. They're from everywhere. So, and you have a big competition and. Basically, you have to push through that and you have to get a good rank in order to get a good college like an IIT or NITs or any other college that is. So, yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Looks like everyone like comes at this one big competition and like everyone fights for that one seat. And in
Yep.
fact, like in IIT Delhi and like in IITs in general in India, you have limited seats, and the candidates who sit for the exams, it's crazy. It's damn crazy.
Yeah.
So if you can make that one seat of yours, and if you can get in that college, I would say your life is on a good track. I wouldn't say your life is set, but your life is on a good track. Because when you get into college, there are like new things that you see and you discover. So how was your J mains and advanced, and what all like did you do to like for the preparation?
Yeah. So it's quite interesting because I see people saying like you gotta study like 6 hours a day, you gotta study 8 hours a day, 11 hours a day. Like in 11th, I didn't even know what I had to do, what I wanted to do. Like fun fact, I didn't even know I wanted to get into an IIT until 3 months before JEE Advanced. So basically, like
Whoa.
for those who don't know, that JEE Mains is like, and it's like basically the level one of this examination, and JEE Advanced is like the next level where basically you are only competing in that exam because you want to go into an IIT. So yeah, that's actually true that I like started studying for advance, like properly for advance 3 months before it came around the corner. And before that, when I was in like 11th grade and 12th grade, I was just blindly doing whatever I could. Like I was getting taught in school, I was getting taught. I joined a coaching. I was getting taught there. I just did that because it felt right to me. I don't know. I didn't really have the goal that I want to get this, like I want to get this specific rank, I want to get this specific college. I just wanted to do the best. Like it was just that I wanted to go step by step, you can say. I really didn't have that like specific final goal. It was a broader goal, but the main thing was to have small set of goals, which I think which is basically the sole reason, or basically the biggest reason why I was able to probably, get a good rank, get a good score in those exams. So it was basically a step-by-step preparation. It was like setting minor goals, being as consistent as you can, even if you're studying for like 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day instead of the, as people say, 6 or 7 hours. You just have to be consistent. If you're studying for 10 hours one day and then none for the other, it doesn't make sense. So that was basically what I did. I just was consistent, and even if I studied half an hour a day, I still studied. So yeah, and first, most importantly, in 11th grade, I studied for like 3 hours or maybe 4 hours because I just felt like that was the best I could do at that time. And I was basically not trying to go overboard because that's what a lot of students do. And that's a huge barrier in your preparation, I would say. If you're serious
Yeah,
about it, it's not really like a problem. But yeah, and you just have to set your own goals. For me, I was comfortable with doing that. And it's not like I was always studying. I was also doing YouTube side by side. I was also doing music, watching movies. So it was like a fun journey, I would say. And at the end, when the exams came around the corner, of course, I studied. I like upped my preparation a little bit. But yeah, that was it.
that's wonderful actually. I think like there are a lot of people who say that you shouldn't be using social media or like you should like even deactivate or disable your account. But as we can see, like in your case, you did everything. You watched movies, you watched Instagram, you watched YouTube, and you were having fun. And you were still studying at the same time, and you managed to get into IT. So for all the people who think that you have to delete all the things, well, it depends. Different people, different vision, different perspective. But at the end, if that's something that you want, then you get that. And that's what matters. So,
Yeah.
what about your ranks and your scores that you got like in your J mains and J advance?
In JEE mains, I had two attempts in JEE mains, and both the attempts I got around the same score. And at the end, I got an overall rank of around 4,000, 3,000 to 4,000 range. I don't
Wow.
remember the exact number. Yeah, and it was quite, I was expecting more because it was like a surprise to every one of us in that year that what happened, like it was such a like exponential increase in the competition. So I was expecting more, I would say, like lesser rank in the in the value. Basically, I was expecting that I would get a better rank because I studied the previous year trends and all that. So, but yeah, life is unfair. And then in JE Advanced, I gave my best and got around like 1700 to 1800 rank. And yeah, that was it. What can I
That's
say
that's
more about it?
that's
Yeah,
that's wonderful actually. And yeah, well, life is life, and you gotta do what you gotta do. So just keep
yeah.
on doing what you do, and just like try to be the best in your field, and just like put out all the efforts that you can, and just make things happen, make great things. Okay, so now we have a good background of a third, and now we will be moving towards more of the IT life because this podcast isn't about J prep. We have another podcast for that thing. Now we're gonna focus on okay, how does it feel like to be in IIT Delhi? Oh, and I forgot, what is your branch and what you will be pursuing like in IIT Delhi?
Okay, so yeah, coming to IIT Delhi, it was like, first of all, like, when I was going to IIT Delhi, it was like I was still dicey about it, whether should I go to this college or not, because there were some options in front of me, like two, three IITs and some other colleges as well. But then at the end, when I decided I would go to IIT Delhi, and I stepped into the college for the first time, the first few days, which was just like introduction and all that, so it was kind of boring. Uh, but it was like a huge, what would you say? Like it was like a huge shock to me how talented people are. I expected nerds to be there, honestly, but it was completely opposite. You got if you are in a hostel and there are like 100 people living with you, like 100 batchmates of yours. there will be at least 50 of them who would be like excel, who would have like some I don't know, national level or state level awards in any others in any sport. Like
Wow.
a very close friend of mine, he's like a national level badminton player. He's really cool. Like one of my friend, he's really good at volleyball. One is really good at lawn tennis. You know, we got proper national level players in basketball, cricket, hockey, even hockey. Like no one plays hockey in India. Like no, a lot of people do. Sorry for the statement. Like a lot of people do play hockey, but I have never seen anyone play hockey that good as I've seen in my college. So it's like the randommost sports will have the best players you would ever probably see later on from IIT because it's such a big place. It's a happening place, and it's not just about sports. It's the cultural activities as well. There are so many clubs in IIT Delhi. Like, for example, I am currently in the PFC club, the Photography and Filmmaking Club, and I'm a part of the filmmaking team. So that is one club. And then you have an arts and crafts club. Then you have a graphic designing club. Then you have a club related to stock markets. Then you have one for AI, you have one for robotics, and then you have one for events and all that. You have one for music, you have one for dance. There are so many things like I don't even have them on the top of my mind. I'm just naming them offhand. There are so many more of them. You wouldn't even know how many clubs are there until you like go to each and every one of them. And the thing is, the time even does not permit you to do that. You have to choose very wisely where you want to spend your time there because there are so many things you would feel like going to every single one of them, whether it is sports, whether it is like some cultural activity like that. And there are so many fests as well. Like the first fest we ever went to, it happened in the first month itself, and it was such a great fest. It was like basically an introduction from the seniors to us freshers in IIT Delhi. And then there was the annual cultural fest. It was Rendezvous, and it is one of the biggest fests of India. And it was great. The biggest of the biggest artists come there. You know, like I can't even name. There's so many artists, and they're going to be tech fest. There's going to be there's something called NSS. It's like you do social service. They are going to be even fest for that. Then there's going to be uh, like fest for entrepreneurship, people who want to be entrepreneurs. And it's basically like a hub where you can do anything. It's not just a college where you go for a degree, you go for a high package. That's what most people think. They have that in mind that yeah, I'm going there for a package. I was surprised to see there were so many people. They were like, मैं तो 1 करोड़ का पैकेज, I will 2 करोड़ का पैकेज लेके जाएंगे. And it's not really that, you know, like a lot of famous people who are not really into their core fields, they came from IT, like IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, and because it is a place where you get exposed to so many things, it's actually great. I really think the decision I made of going to IT Delhi was actually a good decision because if I hadn't gone there, I would didn't probably be exposed to so many things. And right now as well, I'm really into so many different things that I can't even tell you about it because there are so many. It would take you like another 2 or 3 more podcasts. There are so many things to talk about. Yeah, that's
So you
basically
like
it.
continue like doing the podcast in the future about those things in depth.
Yeah.
And I would say, yeah, like the life is pretty good at IIT Delhi along with like the course load as well. So I think it's important there should be like a mix of both academics and extracurriculars and like the activities that you can go out and do other than like your academic life. Moreover, I've seen this thing. I also have friends like in IIT Roorkee, and recently they had Sunidhi Chauhan and great other singers and like other musicians, artists, and actors. They come over, promote the movies, or just like have fun with the IIT crowd. And I think, well, they have big budgets. It's like a government college, and they have big budget. And I would say they do grand events, and that's crazy actually. That's amazing. So, what do you think about your major, mechanical engineering, and your degree in IIT Delhi? How does that work? How things which you have to do? like you get into college in the first year, you have like some different subjects. I think it's common for everyone that you have to do. Then I think you move forward as like in your second year, then you have subjects which are going to be specific to your major, mechanical engineering. And how does it go like further from that? So giving like an overview of the first year, second year, third year, and the fourth year, and how it works like academically.
So, I'm in the first year, and my department is mechanical engineering. And first year, you don't study anything about your department. You just study the subjects that everyone else does. It's like the first year is common to everyone, whether it is a CS grad or whether it is someone from biotechnology. Everyone has to
Well,
study the same thing. Whether and you have like a bunch of subjects, like you have one from from the chemical department, like an introduction to chemistry, one from the mechanical department, like you are doing engineering drawing. You are one from the physics department where you are studying physics, quantum physics, and all that. One from electrical, basics of electrical. It's just basically introductory. It's like 11th and 12th, but on on an extended level, you can say. The first year is basically that. The proper departmental studies, they will begin from the second year. So I don't really have much idea about that, but from what I know from my seniors' perspectives, is that mechanical is tough as hell. And I sometimes contemplate that whether should I like try to work for a change in the department, because that's something which is possible in IIT Delhi, and I didn't really think about it before I took the decision to join the college. But you can actually change your departments if you score well enough. But that's the thing, you have to actually dedicate yourself to it. And like we just talked about, there are so many things, there are so many uh, things that you can explore. They will be a distraction for you if you are trying to like change your department in the future. So studies, overall in study wise, I would say all departments are hard, but some are on the easier side, some are like a more little more relaxed. But from what I have heard, departments like electrical engineering and mechanical engineering, they are like a pain in the ass.
well, that's what they say. And even like I would say like nowadays, like the ratio is improving. Men to women in mechanical engineering especially, and in engineering colleges, that's like the field where you don't find any. So if you find one, well, your batch will be lucky enough. But okay,
It's
nevertheless,
like a limited
moving
offer.
forward, exactly.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, moving forward with other stuff with women, because that's something that you should like focus more on life than just doing that thing. Still, that's an important part of life if you get it somewhere. So I just have like a follow-up question on that. It's not the objective of this podcast, but as like a lifestyle, I was wondering, and even I think people will be wondering, how is the female engagement and interaction on campus? Is it more guys that you see, or is it more women that you see on campus, or how does that thing work, especially like in a department, or how things are like hostel-wise and all of that?
So there's one thing that is very like, what do you say? Uh, I'm missing the word, but it's basically pretty obvious that the ratio is messed up. It's
Okay,
like 4:1, boys to girls. So although there are like the boys are more in number, you wouldn't really find a hard time like talking to like girls if you are a boy. It's not like that. It's just that you can just go talk to anyone. Everyone is like open. Everyone is like free to approach, you can say basically, and you can talk to anyone. It's just it depends on you what you are. A lot of people, they are like kind of like socially, there are people that
shy.
it's like hard to interact, because I also used to be like that along like when I was like in eighth grade or seventh grade. But I can see that, because they are so busy studying the like last 3 4 years that they they kind of like lack the communication and interaction skills. They not lack, but it's there's really room for improvement. Even I can say, yeah, there's room for improvement, like when I first joined the college, uh, I realized, that there are a lot of more social people and I need to be more social. And before that, I was quite like an introvert. I used to be by myself. I used to be, if I feel the need to interact, I wouldn't interact. But being in college taught me how to interact with others. And if you can interact with others, you can talk to anyone, whether it is a boy or a girl. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly, exactly. That's amazing. What about like your department specifically? Like, did you start taking your mechanical engineering core courses yet, or are you like still yet to take it?
I'm still yet to take it, but I have been introduced to the introductory courses, which everyone has to do, like whether they're from the department or not. And from the mechanical department, I've done the both the courses, and they actually went pretty well because one of them was engineering drawing. It's all about visualization. And and the other one was basically a manufacturing lab where you do different sorts of processes like welding, and you work with sheet metals, you work in the CNC labs, and there's a lot of different process that you get to do, a lot of new machines that you get to put your hands on, and it's a really cool lab, I would say. So but from my department, that's the only two things that I've done, the drawing and the lab part. I'm still yet to do the proper courses from my department, and I'll be doing that from the third semester. That's the second year.
That's pretty amazing. So like following up with the labs thing, how are the labs like usually like I've seen a lot of colleges in India. I have friends like in like almost you can say every kind of college or tier, like how they are distributed in India, one, two, three. And I've seen this thing that in some colleges you don't have labs. You do have labs, but it isn't like much high tech or it isn't like kind of feasible to like conduct certain experiments and all. So what about your curriculum in lab and how does like things work over there and what all machines you have and how like the curriculum works in IIT Delhi?
So there are a lot of different labs. One I told you about the mechanical ones. There are like computer science, like there are computer labs where you do basically the introductory computer science course, which is basically the basics of any language like C++ or Python. We have Python, and it just depends on who your coordinator is for the course. It changes depending on the coordinator. But our coordinator is teaching us Python. Uh, and then you have electrical labs where you get to perform uh, basic electrical experiments, and then you have physics lab where you get to perform both electrodynamic and optical experiments, and it's quite fun actually. This semester I have courses for the electrical and the physics one and the computer one, and the last semester I had the mechanical labs and also the chemistry labs, which was also really cool. And in chemistry lab, for those who are studying in 11th, 12th, and planning to come to IIT, chemistry labs are just like your 11th and 12th chemistry labs. You get to do basic titrations and all that. And the fun part is the mechanical labs, I would say. You get to do your own project. You get to build a proper project. Like, for example, we built a mechanical hacksaw, basically a pedal powered hacksaw, which you can operate using pedals basically. Instead of you using your arms, you can just paddle and you can use the hacksaw. You can cut through anything. Then in electrical, we just got introduced to that subject. So I'm yet to do any project in that field. And in physics, physics is also fun. Physics is quite demanding, I would say, though, because if you are not a fan of physics, then you might find it difficult to perform experiments in the lab or even study the theoretical part of that course. But overall, I would say the labs are really fun, and there are a lot of new machines that you would get to see there. There are so many different things. You wouldn't expect to see them like anywhere else, probably. There are some pretty cool machines, I would say, and there are more on their way because like a lot of new machines started coming in like last semester itself. We didn't really get to put our hands on them, but the upcoming batch will probably get to see what cool things they have in store for you guys.
That's amazing. I think like it's always like advancing. So like in the next, I would say 5 years or like more or so, you will have like more machines and more professional instruments with like high accuracy and precision. Moreover, what about the semester? Like, how does it look like? How many exams do you have? Do you have like midterms? Do you have finals, or do you have like only like two exams in a sem? And is like the learning more project based, or is it like more like paper based, exams based, or is it like a mix of both?
I would say it is a mix of both actually. Like you have regular exams. It's not like JEE where you just have to give one exam and see the results after that. You are going to be tested every single week or every alternate weeks, and that will add up to your final score and the final grade you'll get in. So you have to constantly put efforts into your studies if you want to achieve good grades, that is. And I would say that uh, it's a mix of both theoretical and practical knowledge because even if you know theory like if you even if you're good in theory, you wouldn't probably able to apply those concepts if you don't know how it works in actual life. And the same goes in the other way because if you know how those concepts work, but you don't know how to present them, you wouldn't be able to do well in the exams because the theoretical part is also a huge aspect of it. So I would say there's a good emphasis on both of them, whether it is electrical lab or whether it is a computer science lab, whether it is a mechanical lab. They have really structured all the courses in a very well-defined manner.
That's pretty amazing. That's what I wanted to hear actually. Well, can't expect anything less from IT, can you? After like so many
Probably.
efforts, putting in so much energy, time, everything, money. If that's what you're not getting, then what the hell are you getting, bro? That's cool. That's cool. How's the hostel life in IT Delhi like? What do you guys do? Like, is it fun? Do like, like men, women live in the same hostel, or like you have different hostels for that thing? Do you have like wardens for like the timings and all? Do you have to like get in like in a particular time and you can't leave after like a particular time, or like how it is?
The hostel part is the most fun part of being in an IT, I would say. Because even though I'm from Delhi and I go to IIT Delhi, I'm studying in IIT Delhi, I'm not a day scholar because hostel life is something that I consider to be a very vital part of your growth as well and of your college life as well. Because in a hostel, like although in a lot of hostels you don't get that much of freedom, we do. Like you can go out anytime, whether it is 3 a.m., whether it is 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. There's no stopping you unless you're from some other hostel. There are guards in the hostel. They would check if you are from this hostel or not. But it doesn't really matter in the end because everyone just goes here and there. So you're basically free to roam in the whole campus 24 hours a day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And talking about the girls' hostel and boys' hostel thing, yeah, they are separate. It's not a mixed hostel. It's separate for the undergrads. But if you are pursuing masters or if you are studying, like if you are doing a PhD, then you would have then you would have, uh, hostels where both of them they're separated by floors or something. They don't have separate hostels basically. Max to max, it's that. Or if you are in PhD, you would probably even get your own apartment there. There are a lot of hostels and there are a lot of apartments, and there are about 13 hostels for undergrads, I think, or maybe 10. And each of the hostel has a whole like a unique name for it, and it's like your hostel is your identity in IT Delhi at least, because it's like your family. Like if you are assigned a hostel, you will be there for the entire 4 or 5 years, however long your degree is. uh, for me, my hostel is Vindhyachal, and all the hostels are named based on mountain ranges in India. So there's Vindhyachal, there's like Aravali, Jwalamukhi, then there's Karakoram, there's Nilgiri, and there's many hostels. And talking about the coming back to the girls and the boys hostel thing, in our campus, it's like if on the one if in one of the corners, if it is the boys hostel, then diagonally opposite, you would find the girls hostel, and it's probably like 3 kilometers away. So
3 kilometers. Yeah. Some
yeah,
distance in that.
like you are allowed to go inside girls hostel, but and girls are also like allowed to come to your hostel, but they're not allowed to go to your rooms basically. That's prohibited. You're only allowed to stay in the common area, not even in the mess actually, not even in the what say there are reading rooms, there are gyms, none of them. Only the common room, only the entrance room where the guard can keep an eye on you. So it's that.
God can keep an eye on you. Whoa,
Yeah,
okay, that's crazy, man. But all right, I'm
crazy.
glad at least like you can like enter like in the common area of the hostels because like in other hostels like that you have on like in colleges in India. I think that's not even something that you can do unless you sneak someone in or you sneak someone out. And yeah, well, I think the authorities might have their own reasons for that, but still, it is what it is. They don't want, like students to get distracted. Like they are like in 11th and 12th, and like I can understand that thing. Even you can understand that thing. In 11th and
Hmm.
12th, the only things you have seen is four wall and a roof. That's all, and the books. You get into college, you're like, okay, now life is set. Let's enjoy. Let's see what is new, what's
Yeah.
fresh. And I think that's usually what you see. And yeah, you might get distracted as well. There are people who do that thing. You might get into that party life in IT Delhi.
Well, it's just like any other college, probably even better because it is, even though it is IIT Delhi, you are basically it is basically filled with students who haven't done anything like that in the past 3 4 years of of their lives when they were preparing for the exams. So of course, when they come to the college, they do have the temptations. They do have the curiosity to go out and party, playing songs all night, dancing, doing shenanigans in your rooms, in the other rooms, pranking, whatever. There are so many things that people do there. And drinking thing, yeah, like people do drink, but not really in the campus. I have never seen anyone drink in campus, but I know like by word that this A person drinks or B person drinks, but there's nothing more than that. Although it is, I would say it is not really like, it's not missing, it's there. You know it's there, but you don't really see anyone doing it. It's like that, but it is there.
That's the school. I think like that's like a part of life, and well, people like like they're new to things, so I think they get familiarized by trying things out. And what is like the best way other than to try it yourself? And there are like a lot of colleges like in India, like tries for MIT, for example. And I even have friends in that thing, and the lifestyle and culture over there is bro. Okay.
Yeah, I also have
Well,
friends there. Yeah, it's quite the life.
but I think yeah, it depends like on the people that you have because at the end of the day, like it's the people who creates like the vibe and who like just make things and like get that thing on top or in the ground. No, but yeah, that's how it is. That's pretty amazing. What about like the mess? Do you have like a mess in your hostel, or like do you have like a separate mess like in campus that you all the hostel people go over there and like have food?
Well, each hostel has its own mess. Like, except the girls' hostel, there are two girls' hostel for undergrad students. They have a common mess, and it's a pretty big mess, I think. Like, I haven't really, obviously, your boys are not really allowed
Been
in
there?
mess. Yeah, obviously, I've not been there because we are not allowed to go there. But I like someone told me that it's like quite big because they both of the hostels are actually quite bigger than an average boys' hostel. For example, my hostel is actually one of the smallest hostels, and it's about like 3 floors high, and it has a capacity of about 300 to 400 people. That's it. While others have a like quite a bigger capacity and quite bigger hostels. And uh, but the mess in each hostel, it's unique. Like you don't have the same schedule, you don't have the same meal in every mess. Every hostel gets a different schedule every month, actually every semester. And the thing is, you are not allowed to go eat at other hostels' mess. You are only allowed to eat at yours. But you can easily bypass that because how can a mess worker remember the faces of 400 people? Because, you know, and so yeah, you can easily sneak in. And sometimes when shit, like, what would I say? Like, if you don't like the food at your hostel, like on a specific day at a specific time, and you want to eat something different, you can just go to your friend's hostel. You can just tag along with him and go eat there. And yeah, and one more thing, it's about a lot of people think coming to IIT that you would have all sorts of food here. No, you only have vegetarian food in most of the hostels, and there are some hostels which do provide like chicken like once a week, but it's just them. In our hostel, at least, you don't get any non-veg. You don't get anything actually. You just get eggs and you just get it's just purely vegetarian diet. And is the food is good, not gonna lie, but a lot of people don't really like the food. I personally think it's all right for mess food, but a lot of people say it's just a normal mess food. But uh, when like the whoever's coming to IIT, you just find that out yourself.
Sure, I'll give you a visit sometime and let's try your food and let's like make a vlog out of that. Food at IIT Delhi. That would be fun. That's 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 amazing. So, how are like the professors like in IIT Delhi? Like, are they lenient? Are they like too strict, or how does like it work over there? Like, you have some courses. Like, are those courses at instructors' discretion, or is it like the authorities who have more power, like the department and all, and like like retaking exams or like doing things like that?
So the courses, how they work is every semester for the specific course. For example, you have a basic physics 101 course. Uh, like in last year's first semester, you would have a one coordinator, and then the next semester you'll have another one. And when the new batch comes in, you may have the same coordinator for that course, but it's not really necessary that one of them would be. Like it keeps on changing, and it's entirely up to the coordinator and some other people to decide how the course is going to work out. But overall, the course is actually the professors. It just depends on who the professor is, uh, like lenient or whether he's quite strict. It just depends on who you get because actually you get 1200 to 1300 freshers every year in undergrad. So and since in the first year they are all studying the same subject, the common subjects, you have to divide them into groups, and each group is divided like further. Actually, they are divided into batches and then group divided further into groups, and all of them would have a different professor. It's just on your luck, like if you get a good professor or maybe a strict professor. And coordinators will also vary on the batches. But it just all depends on luck, I would say, because one of my professors, he was the most chill person I'd ever seen. Whereas the professor, like in one of those departments, I think it was the mechanical engineering, the lab department. Uh, a lot of like the common perception, the common opinions about him were negative. Like he was quite strict. People didn't really like how he taught. But it's just, based on your luck because some professors are good, some professors are not. It's just like other colleges. There's nothing really different to it.
That's amazing. That's a good thing. So coming to what's like the end of this podcast, we will actually like do more parts in the future. But for this one, if I ask you, how has your experience been like so far in IT, and will you still continue it? And how's it overall?
Well, the experience in one word, if I had to summarize, it was fantastic because I came to the college thinking it would just be another JE preparation grind type of thing, but I was completely wrong. Till now, I'm like really enjoying it. I am into so many different things right now, filmmaking, sports now, and also side by side keeping the academics on level because academics are obviously the priority. But yeah, I've been ex like it's quite a good place. It's quite the place like you want to be here. It's that place. You get to meet so many new people. I've met so many people. I really learned a lot about life. I learned really a lot about people through that, you know, social networking, communication. And I got to learn a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have if probably wouldn't had learned if I hadn't been in IIT Delhi. It really provides you with so many opportunities that it's not really easy for me to tell you in this the podcast, the duration of this podcast is quite short to tell how many different things you can do you at IIT Delhi. But yeah, it's like until and unless you come here, you wouldn't really know how good this place is. And I think the same goes with other IITs as well, IIT Bombay, IIT Roorkee, IIT Kharagpur, and other IITs as well, IIT Madras, Kanpur. So there's so many IITs in itself, but I think it's really, really good if you want to, if you have passions, if you want to explore new things. It's not just a place for there's a specific term for people who just are into academics. It's called a Maggu, and there's this like yeah, there's if you are not a Maggu, then this is the best place for you. This place is not really uh, for academics. It's for academics and it's also for it's to explore things that you couldn't when you were preparing for this for your exams. It's really an up an opportunity, you would say. It's a golden opportunity. And to whoever is watching this, if you are preparing for the exam, I wish you all the best because you will need it. It's a tough exam, but the results, they're going to be amazing. When you get into the college, you'll realize. That's it.
Well, that's amazing. I hope anyone watching this thing, whether you're like a student preparing for J, mains, advanced, or like you're taking a college, I hope this video inspires you and like motivates you to like like work harder, achieve things that you want to achieve in life, and get that college that you want to get in. And I hope
Yeah.
this provides you like a brief overview of how things are at IIT Delhi and how people do things and how people live life actually. Because at the end, what matters is living life that you want to live. So do it now and now. That's what matters. Well, thanks a lot. And it was great having you, Athav, on this podcast and sharing your like wonderful experiences. And I'm like pretty amazed by your experience and journey and how you've done things in your life and you will be doing. So, good luck with your future ventures and whatever you will be doing, and you will do great. I believe that you're like on the right track.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I really, it was like it was long overdue because we were planning to do this
Exactly.
podcast like months ago. But finally, it's here. We are doing this, and it was really great doing this podcast with you. And let's see if we could meet in real time soon and do probably an IRL podcast. That would be great, and probably other
That
projects as well.
yeah. That would be amazing, bro. That would be amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to like coming in person at IIT Delhi and like recording, shooting all this stuff, and just like doing the same video I did like in my university. A day in the life of like IIT Delhi student in mechanical engineering and how things are over there. That's gonna be like a lit. That's gonna be like a lit video.
True, true. Yeah.
For sure. Till the next time. Well, see you guys soon, and well, keep on doing things, and let's make it happen.